Hi, Immy, Izzy, and Olivia. So this is my feedback on your video. I've watched it through a couple of times, um, and overall, I think there's some really lovely footage in it. I think the edit works well in terms of the rhythm. I think that's really good. I think there's a good variety. Although I think possibly what's missing, and I'd like to see a few more of, is some close-ups, some tight close-ups on your lead singer, possibly a little bit more. Um, but I like the way you come in. I think this is all great. So it seems to me, kind of what you're establishing here is a kind of a relationship. So there's the performance, and then there's the relationship. I think a little bit my problem is I don't quite get the relationship that Olivia's characters has with the two guys. Um, what are you trying to communicate? That there are two guys who are both after Olivia's kind of affections and want to be in a relationship with Olivia. And I think that's quite good. So this is the first time we see one of the guys. Okay, so. And it's a nice shot, by the way. And you get that sense of their relationship. Nice proxemics, looking towards each other. It's on the third, which is really, really nice. So I get the sense we've got a woman in a relationship with this guy here. However, I think what you wanted to do, what I can discern from your captions, is that there's two guys want this relationship. So you kind of need to establish that a little bit earlier, and also establish the idea that they are kind of in competition for a relationship with Olivia. There's some nice. I quite like these playing golf and on the beach, and then the bedroom shots. They're quirky. They're nice. It's fun. That's a kind of funny shot there. Okay, get this guy throwing a stone, then he turns, and just when I'm about to see his face at all, I'd like to see Olivia there with him, but also you cut really quickly, okay, to Olivia getting ready to go out, or kind of getting changed, and then there she is again, and then they're together, and then she's getting changed again. So you're kind of breaking up your narrative slightly oddly in some ways. So is it about her getting ready to go out? And if so, why don't you have all the getting ready stuff together, and then the golf stuff, and then the beach stuff? The structure seems a little bit odd to me. I get the sense that there's a really nice kind of good relationship going on. So it's kind of, I suppose it's shots like that, which obviously I can't see which is of them two together, and how are you going to establish the idea of this kind of competition that they're kind of in this kind of competitive relationship, followed by one of the guys gutted as the other is having fun with Olivia. Okay, fine, but where's that going to come from? So you're going to show cuts to the other guy, so he sees this, and it cuts back to the other guy looking jealous. Remember, if you want to establish an idea, you have to have a shot of the person, their look, and then to the eye line match, and then back to their reaction. So to establish this idea, obviously you need that additional footage of the other guy. Is it the lead singer? I'm not quite sure about that. So nice shot, by the way. Nice symmetry in that shot. Nice bit of variety. That's again, it's nice on the third. That's well composed. Good. There's one of the only close-ups we have of the lead singer. That shot's not so good because this big cross thing is right in the way. Okay, so then you've got Jordan and Olivia. And then what would you cut straight back to this other guy? As Seb or something like that with Olivia. Okay, so my sense is a little bit, I don't quite get the tension in the relationship. Obviously, you've got some other footage to film. I think you recognise that you've got some other footage to film. Okay. So now what? So at that point then is Seb with Olivia. And then we've got the reverse. So we've got the other guy looking jealous and bitter and envious of that kind of relationship. So, I mean, introduction to Jordan. We're 2 minutes 40 into the video. Now you're introducing Jordan. Obviously, you've introduced him as a singer, but is he a second character? And maybe that would confuse matters a little bit. I mean, maybe you should think about casting someone else rather than your lead singer about, you know, for that other role. Just a thought. Okay. Okay, and obviously that's not a lot of time to show that, you know, to show those kind of things. So you've got shot 1, shot 2, shot 3. So in about, 3 seconds, that's quite a lot to communicate. And remember, if you're communicating this idea that now Seb has been left or abandoned by Olivia, we'd need shots of his reaction and his eye line. Okay, so kind of coming to the end of it there. Sorry, I turned the sound off. But like I said, I think my broad problem is that there's lots to good about it. I think you've got quite a complex little narrative, maybe even too complex, you know, because you've got this kind of nice relationship between Olivia and Guy A. How are you going to establish quite a complex, like, love triangle, 2 guys in love with the same woman, and that sense of his jealousy and frustration, and then of course then he takes her away from the other guy. You've also got this idea of, which I think you need to be a bit careful with, about your star image. That, you know, does your star image really, is that like what you want to communicate? This idea that your star breaks relationships and steals girls away. I'm not sure if you would be better off kind of just sticking with the one relationship, you know, the Seb guy and Olivia guy, and doing something a bit simpler with that. It seems to me you've got a lot of complex narrative information to show, and you haven't got much time to do it in, and you haven't got much of an allowance, so you'd have to cut quite a lot of what you've got already. So whilst I think there's a lot of good stuff going on there, I think the narrative, which I'm getting a sense of, is difficult, and problematic, and maybe not in keeping with your star image. So I think possibly you might reconsider that narrative. Obviously, we'll talk again next week. But like I said, I think you might be overcomplicating it within the narrative. Lots of good stuff. I like a lot of the filming and the framing. It's really nice. I'm a little bit concerned about the quality of the footage here. This is such this is kind of quite a grainy shot, kind of compared to these ones here. That seems a little bit grainy. I'd like to look at your kind of export settings for that as well. But otherwise, lots of great stuff, lots of energy in the rhythm, nicely filmed, a good performance, and actually some lovely narrative footage. It's just making sense of that narrative, I think, is going to be difficult. So anyway, very, very well done for your on schedule. We've got 4 weeks to sort this out and to get that narrative in place. Maybe do some color corrections like I was showing you on Friday, some of those kind of cut-ins and push-ins, which might work really nicely. But don't go and film anything else until we've had a proper discussion and you've had a proper discussion about how you want to communicate this idea. Anyway, very, very well done.